Prof. Karim, good morning to you. Really, really good to have you on ENC. We appreciate you spending most of 7 o'clock with us, just to give viewers a sense of what we're going to do. Quickly chat to the Prof now. Then you send us some questions on Twitter at ENC. We're going to go backwards and forwards to the Prof throughout the hour. Prof, morning. How are you? I mean, do you ever sleep?
Yeah.
Good morning, Gareth. Good morning, Tavero. It's a great morning and very good morning to all of the viewers. I know, I'm one of those people that's a night owl. I get to bed at around 1, 2 in the morning. I'm usually up by about 5:30, 6. So I'm one of those people that don't need too much sleep, but you know, helps me get the work done.
Yeah, absolutely. Gareth and I need to let you in on a secret here. We always say your family has probably has to be one of the most overachieving family in South Africa. I mean, when you look at your wife, yourself, I mean, your daughter, whom we also had a conversation with on the show. We just wondered, how are the Sunday lunch conversations like with so much academics in the family, you know, so much, you know, rich, you know, information and education. What's your Sunday lunch conversation like in your household, Prof?
So, you know, when, you know, in the old days when the kids were younger and we were in the midst of undertaking our HIV research, you know, the conversation over breakfast or dinner or Sunday lunch is very much about the world, its challenges, but we also talk about, you know, issues relating to HIV. We'll talk about sex. We'll talk about anal sex, about condoms. Our children just take it in their stride. And, you know, I'm so very proud of all three of them. They've achieved so much in their lives.
And when we then went into the pandemic, Prof, I think many people would obviously know you from your work with HIV over the years. But I really think from a media perspective, you were thrust into this position where I think you were speaking to just about every media organization multiple times a day. Did you ever sort of just have to catch your breath and go, this isn't really what I signed on for. I'm here to be a professor. I'm here to be a medical expert. But suddenly you almost became a spokesperson for COVID-19. Did you struggle with that? Is that really what you thought you were going to be doing 2-3 years ago?
So if you had asked me, you know, in 2019, what would I be doing in 2020, none of what I actually did would have featured in that answer. You know, when the minister called back in March of 2020, and he asked me to join a meeting where he was asking several scientists to come together to discuss the coronavirus, you know, I just said, of course, you know, I'll be happy to do that. That's part of my civic duty. And it was in that meeting, we were over 50 scientists and clinicians and laboratory researchers. And in that meeting, the acting director general announced towards the end of the meeting that I will be the overarching chair of the Ministerial Advisory Committee. Now, he didn't really need to ask me because I was going to do it if I was asked. But the moment really came to me at that time that this was going to be a big responsibility, a responsibility that I have to be pretty confident in, and that it's something I have to take on because it's not going to be easy. And I knew it at that point in that meeting that this was going to be a big challenge, because this is not just about science. I mean, science I can just do with my eyes closed. This is about science, is about dealing with the media, it's about dealing with you know, the world scientists across the board. It was also trying to deal with the complexity of the balance between the politics and the you know, the way in which people were taking very fervent positions and I had to explain things as to why we were doing what we proposed to do.
And I suppose the problem as well is that you were then, and you know this because you and I spoke a few times on air, you and Tumza, various other journalists as well, you were having to explain why government is doing things that they're doing, which maybe isn't always that fair, but you became the spokesperson for COVID-19 unofficially in the country. Prof, you're going to stay with us for the next hour or so. We're going to come back and forwards to you. If you've just joined us on ENCA, we're speaking to Professor Salim Abdool Karim. We'd love to hear from you watching at home as well. Tweet us at ENCA, that's the account. Use the hashtag the SA Morning. Perhaps you have a comment on all the awards that the Prof so rightly deserves, or a question for the Prof. We'll come back to him again in a couple of minutes. Tweet us at ENCA. You can tweet me. I've got my phone with me at Gareth Edwards SA, and we'll put that to the Prof a little bit later.